Good morning, y'all. It's Cody's Bait and Tackle, Warsaw, Missouri. I'm going to give a little bit of a fishing report this morning. As far as everybody's been asking questions about down below the dam, I'm going to talk about that here for a minute. They are supposed to start running water steady this weekend. Yesterday was supposed to be 1 unit. I think today's supposed to be 1 unit or 2 units. That'll help get the white bass and walleye and crappie fired up over in the main channel some. It looks like the nights are going to start dropping back down low again. That might slow down things a little bit. But they have started catching some white bass and hybrids over there when they're running water. Just throwing jigs, sliders, crappie jigs, stuff like that. Little small swim baits. A few walleye being picked up of an evening and of a morning. A few midday. And it hasn't really mattered whether they're running water or not. They've been catching fish with water on or water off. Biggest things I'm seeing right now on Facebook, well, they got to be running water to catch fish. That has not been the case this year at all. All the walleye that was getting caught early was right after they was shutting the water off. Midday bite. Everybody thinks you got to fish that last half hour of daylight. Well, once they start spawning, that's usually where you'll catch them at. But everything I've heard, they haven't started spawning yet, even though the water temperature is right down there. Crappie have not really moved into the main channel yet. I've heard of a few coming out here and there, not very many. Most of them that are being caught are still in the dead water. Over off the docks or off the bank there in the back end, there's been some being caught. Just mainly on crappie jigs, them guys catching them over there. Guys spider rigging out in the boats, they're still doing good on minnows out there. It's been pretty windy for that here lately, though. As far as the catfish bite down there on the river, it was really good all week. They dropped the heck out of the water Friday night. All the spots I'd been catching fish was pretty much mud yesterday. We had to run down river. I had Chad Short run part of my group for me. We ran down the river a ways, fished some different creeks. Did pretty good. Between the two boats we caught probably 50 some fish, so it wasn't too bad of a day. He was rigging up a little bit different than me for fishing shallow water. He caught a lot more fish than me. I always tell everybody, biggest thing, if it ain't working, change it up. Yesterday I just wanted to stick with what had been working every day for me. And it proved that it didn't catch the most fish. Earlier in the week, I just absolutely tore the fish up, big fish every day, numbers of them. And then yesterday, we caught 1 big fish, and he caught 3 or 4 big fish, fishing right beside me. So, same bait, everything. Just the difference in the way I was rigged up versus how he was rigged up. So, everybody that comes in the shop, I always tell them, if it isn't working, change it up. And until you start catching fish. That's what I'm trying to say, basically. As far as up on Truman, the catfish bite, it's been pretty hit and miss. There's fish in most of the creeks up there. Big catfishing tournament coming up, I think this coming weekend or the next weekend up there at a Bucksaw. Most of them catfish should be up in the creeks, thinking about going shallow, same as on Lake of the Ozarks. Last day I was up there, there was a lot of fish in the creek mouths, a lot of fish in the creeks. They wasn't real active, though. I've been seeing everybody, well, where's the best bite on Truman? Everybody that's coming down to fish this catfishing tournament that ain't been here all year. Well, there is no best bite on Truman right now. Them fish are really spotty. And, of course, your best bait up there is always going to be fresh cut shad. You know, I've seen people asking for dip baits. I've seen people asking for all kinds of stuff this week. If you're going to fish that tournament, you need fresh shad. Not bluegill, not skipjack. Truman Lake is a shad lake. That's what them fish want to eat. I will say, all the fish that are coming out of the creeks down on Lake of the Ozarks, the only thing in their belly is moss. And I've never seen nothing like it before. I've heard of it. Even the big fish are just absolutely loaded with moss. You put them in the boat and they just start puking up wads of moss. Your live well will be full of it. It's pretty crazy. I don't know quite what the deal is with that. I don't know if they're trying to eat clams out of it or crawdads, or maybe just when they're sucking up shad, they're getting all the moss in their belly too. I don't know. And I do think that was part of the reason why the creek we fished yesterday, I think that's part of the reason why I wasn't catching fish in there the way I was rigged up. I think my bait was laying in the moss more, and then fish couldn't find it. It seemed like the ones that did get hit got hit right after I threw them out. If they sat there very long, they didn't get touched. And then you'd wind them in and they'd be covered in moss, and your sinker would be covered in moss. And I think that was part of it. I think that bait was laying on top of that moss, and the fish couldn't smell it as good. As far as crappie up on Truman, I've had a few guys coming in here that's been spider rigging the creeks, just absolutely tearing them up on minnows. A lot of guys, all the guys live scoping pretty much are still using jigs, hair jigs, just another crappie bait company, slab busters. Most of them fish are getting caught in the creeks now. They've kind of scattered out some. I've been hearing anywhere from 4 to 12 foot of water in the creeks, down a foot to 6, 7, 8 foot. Some of the guys spider rigging, they said they're still catching them down 10 to 12 foot out in the creek mouths. Just kind of depends on how you want to fish. It sounds like most of the active fish are in the creek, so from everybody that's been in the shop, they're catching a few still scattered out along the bluffs, but I don't think that bite's nothing like it was a couple weeks ago. The spoonbill season starts on the 15th this week. Looks like they are scattered all over the place. Seen a lot of people asking, well, where are they schooled up at? Where are they grouped up at? There's a lot of fish upriver on Lake of the Ozarks right now. A lot of resident fish. It looks like it's going to be pretty good the first couple of days, and then they'll be busted out like normal. Most of the big groups of fish I'm not seeing on Lake of the Ozarks. And up around Tally Bend, I haven't been quite to Osceola yet. It looks like them fish are really scattered out. A lot of short fish up in there just like last year. Lake of the Ozarks, I'm seeing them. I mean, there's spoonbill all the way from 65 Bridge down right now. There's just no big schools of them. Some of the deeper holes, they have more in them than the flats and stuff, but I haven't seen anything that's been real grouped up. So that's about all I got for you guys this week. I appreciate it, and have a good one, and good luck fishing.